children. Find your names. Let's use the buddy system. You can be AJ Fry. Right now I'm Morgan Hoffman.
So that was me and you.
Okay.
Hello. I will be playing Helena today. Do we share a microphone? This is nice restaurant, isn't it?
They don't even need us.
I'll play all the clones. Noticeably, I don't know if you guys can tell, but someone is missing here. And the reason she's missing actually is because she's playing all of you. I don't know if you know that, but Tatiana Maslany is all of you today.
So that is a perfect starting off, because I have to ask you guys, I know AJ and I'm sure everybody out there has their favorite clone. I'm a little bit of an Allison fan. What about you?
Oh man. I don't know.
Look, you like Cosima. All right.
Yeah, I gotta say Cosima too.
So I want to ask you guys, who are your favorite clones?
Lean in, my brother.
I'm a Cosima lover.
Yeah!
Cosima's based on a real person, on our science advisor, who's been a longtime friend of the show. So that's part of the reason she's really special. And I think, you know, we set that science advisor up not just with the whole crew to talk science, but we set her up with Tatiana. And I think she might have inspired Tat a little bit certainly for the energy of that character and perhaps the flapping hands.
I would say Allison, except Allison to me is based on a little bit on my sister, so I think that's a bit creepy. So I'm gonna pick Helena, because I kind of think she's, you know, because she's a bit of a loose cannon, and I like the way she dances, and I like how she eats muffins.
Rest in peace.
I think I'm a Cosima fan as well. She's funky as hell. I love her, and she loves so much. She's got such a big heart. And she leaves herself she makes herself so vulnerable, and that's how I am. So I really relate to her.
Okay, first of all, was there a shortage on microphones here?
Give me it. Stop hogging Dylan every time.
Man. Felix's favorite, obviously, is Sarah, for obvious reasons. Sarah and Allison, but my favorite's Cosima, man. I want to kick it with Cosima.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Allison, because of yoga pants. But I feel real creepy saying that because Tatiana's my friend, and I don't want to think about her like that. But
it's Allison.
That's true. It's totally a different actor. I would have to say Beth, because Paul's still harboring so much guilt for being the reason because she committed suicide. Maybe, I don't know, he's the reason, Mr. Writers over there? We'll see.
I just heard your Twitter follower count go like up 1,000. That's
It lost 1,000. Let me look real quick.
Well, we gotta ask John and Graeme something, because it wasn't that long ago, March Comic-Con here in Toronto. Jordan, you were there with Tad up on stage. Teddy was moderating the panel. I was in the crowd, and this was before the series launched.
Yes.
there was quite a turnout. There was building excitement, but now we're in a room that is like twice the size of that panel room.
Oh my God.
It's packed. I think people were turned away. Did you envision the amount of fandom? I mean, people are critically praising this show. I put it on par with like Game of Thrones and Walking Dead in terms of, you know, just the storyline. Did you go into it with cockiness, thinking, yeah, we're going to make the next awesome hit show, or is this kind of surprising you, the reaction?
I think it was, you know, it was a huge surprise. And I think there was probably a moment for all of us, different moments for all of us, where we realized that the show had kind of connected. I think when we saw how it hit online with the Clone Club and Clonesbians, how are you guys? And all of the fantastic fan art on Tumblr, when that started coming, that's when we, you know, that completely inspired us. John and I, we really we set out to make something that we thought that we would watch, that had a whole bunch of elements of the kind of genre and exciting kind of storytelling that we liked. And it was a concept that we had for years and years and could not let go of. So for us, it's incredibly gratifying. It's been a crazy ride.
Yeah, the concept, of course, has been around with Graeme and I for like 10 years. And so we've been, we've been going every time we get together. We get all, wow, there's so many cool ideas to talk about. I think it's amazingly gratifying that we've managed to connect with you guys, with an audience, and we're excited and terrified to start season 2.
Take you on another ride.
Yeah.
Well, on the note of the second season, Kevin, you were in studio on Interspace not too long ago, and both on camera and off camera, we grilled you like, what do you know about season 2? And you're like, really, I don't know anything at this point. That was a couple of weeks ago. Do you know anything more at this point, and what can you share?
Yes, and I'm going to spill the beans right now.
Is that Barry White talking right there?
Yes, Barry White. Show you right. No, these guys are too smart to let me know anything in advance. So they keep it really close to the vest, but I know that I ran into Graeme, it was about 5 weeks ago now, and he was walking down the street and it looked like he was talking to himself a little bit, and he was like, because he's in the studio and in the writer's room, and he's just they're cranking stuff out and hammering things out, and it's going to be great. I don't know anything, but I'm confident that once I do get something, it's going to be fantastic.
Okay, well, someone's got to give us something. Jordan, you got it.
I think the running line right now is we hit the ground running. Take from that what you will. I need some like theme music. We hit the ground running. It needs to like the swell of orchestral music. I just made an idiot out of myself.
Wait a second. You want to get back into that, buddy?
No.
Singing again? No. Okay. You did it to yourself. Again. I wasn't even going to do it to you. No, he can't today, literally. He's got...
There is. I've tried to take it down off of YouTube, but it doesn't work. Because I'm convinced that they're sabotaging my career. There's a video of me that I recorded like 2 years ago before I had any sense, singing a cover of Young the Giant's Cough Syrup. If you would like to listen to that... Oh, thank you! You're awesome. Where are you? Oh, it's you! I love your costume! If you'd like to listen to that and hear me sing, then please YouTube it. I can't believe I just said that. I've had this thing for like 12 minutes and already, the narcissism all over the place.
What if we did a little singing with you? Like, what if we prompted it?
Well, like all of us singing?
Like cough syrup. Is that it?
That,
that is so off key, isn't it?
It's so not. That is the opposite of that. But
oh man, sorry guys, I was trying for it.
That was a really good try.
Thanks.
Oh my god, I have something on my phone. Am I really gonna do this? This is like eating into panel time. I'm sorry, guys. I wonder if this will play. I'm about to play MIA right now. I will only play just a little bit. Just. Okay, how does this work? Can you hear it? Whoa.
I wish I could do better by.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god. I'll go out with like 5 more seconds.
You sacrifice so much of your life in order for this to work. While I'm not chasing my dreams.
Okay, that's enough.
Who here besides me wants to take their underwear off and throw it at Jordan? Because I really do.
Dylan Bruce and Jordan's record drop, because he's going to be on it. He's going to be rapping. It drops April of 2014. It coincides with the show.
We're making an Eminem version of Paul next season, so just so you know. Spoiler, oops.
Well, speaking of Paul, next season, obviously, at the end of season 1, we were kind of left wondering, are you a good guy, are you a bad guy? Where, even though, maybe we can have some collaborative talking here, but where would you like to see your character going?
Well, it was very interesting. A fan came up to me recently and she said, I have a problem with Paul. He creeps me out, but turns me on at the same time. And I just looked at her and I winked and I go, mission accomplished. So I've been applying that to every aspect of my life. You name it. I'm at the bank. Miss Teller, am I creeping you out right now? But tell me, am I turning you on? So, I know we... Sorry for that tangent. That was totally not prevalent to the question. I know, we left him in a very precarious position. He's still got Afghanistan held over his head. At the same time, he really wants to help Sarah in her quest to find her daughter back. So, these intelligent, genius writers we have, Graeme, John, Tony, Karen, all the above, they're going to take him somewhere either really dark or really light. And I'm excited for whatever ride I get to go on.
Well, we are going to open up. We're going to open up the floor for questions in just a bit, and I should mention that Teddy had to be somewhere else. It's not that he didn't want to be here. But I want to know how long is the series planned to exist? Because we're going into season 2 with the strongest head of steam I've ever seen for any new series. So how long do you have planned for this story to last? And also, forever is the only acceptable answer. Continue.
We said 8 seasons and a feature.
Yeah. But
seasons? Felix would be 30 by then, you do realize that.
And there's nothing wrong with being 30.
NCIS, Orphan Black, that's what it's going to be.
But on the topic of creating the series, so many strong shows are short-run series. Every episode was an amazing episode because you only gave us 10 of them, and so many TV series out there, like 20 episodes, and then you find those weak ones. Do you think that there is strength in keeping the order, simple, like this short-run 10?
I think certainly it's a little bit easier on the storytelling of with the sort of the bigger conspiracy and the mystery. Plus, doing more than 10, I think we might actually kill Tatiana. We might actually kill her, and we don't want to kill her. We like having her around. We want to use her more.
I like it too.
So anyway, got anything to say?
Good answer.
Well, speaking of Tatiana, how about we get a little video message from her?
Hello, Fan Expo. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there to hang out with you guys. I'm in London right now, just getting in touch with my inner Sarah, doing a lot of stealing and identity theft. I really just wanted to make a video though for you guys because all of your love and support means so much to me and so much to the cast and crew, and we just want to thank you for all of that, for the fan art, for the tweets, for everything, for getting the show out there. You guys have made it happen, and we would be nowhere without you. So yeah, even though I'm not there, we do have John and Graeme, who are the creators of the show. So who better to ask about season 2? So grill them about all the spoilers, and if they don't answer you, then pull up Helena on them, or and Allison, if glue guns are more your style. I'm really excited to get back to Toronto, you guys, and start shooting season 2, bring you Allison, Kasima, Sarah, and Rachel. And maybe some more. Who knows? Ask John and Graeme. Let me know if there are more clones, because I need to prep those. Yeah, so thank you guys again so much. Really wish I could be there with you. Have an amazing Fan Expo, and I will see you soon. Bye.
She didn't mention you guys.
That's because I am her right now. I was actually working on my Tat impression so that it would feel a little bit less like a lot of prepped, like went into all this stuff, and I mean, like you guys, the fan art, the clones being, I am just so charmingly incredible all the time.
Like she's in the room.
Whoa.
Well, on the note of that message from Tatiana there, we do have to ask, you know, you don't want to bombard her, but are we going to see more clones?
Well, we are a clone show. You know, we really, we don't treat our clones like red shirts, as we've said before. We really want to develop characters.
I realized I'm wearing a red shirt at a convention. It's a cardinal sin. Sorry.
Take him out. So I think, John, is it too much to say that it's safe to say we may see another clone this year?
We may see another clone this year. That's one of the things that we like to do when we're bored is we like to sit around and we like to make lists. We make lists and we go, wouldn't it be funny to meet a clone like this? And it's fun to actually, you know, have drinks with your friends and then talk about all the different clones that you'd like to see played. So we have lists. But
John's begins it and ends with fat ankle clone. I don't even know what that means. I have no idea what that means.
I think those are called cankles.
We just like the idea of like making sort of prosthetic ankles for Tatiana. So we want to make sort of rubber ankles for Tatiana and make her wear them. What do you think? I think it could be really good.
If it's genetic, if it's some kind of genetic anomaly, I think we could work that in. If the science works, we'll do it.
Well, one of the theories, if you watch Interspace, and I ended up being wrong at the end of the season, but I could have swore we would see a clone of Felix and realize that he had clones. With these three talented actors, is there potential for seeing, you know, people other than, you know, Alice and Sarah being clones?
There is potential, yes. Season 8, Jordan.
Anything's possible in the Orphan Black realm.
All right, let's open it up to the floor for questions. I'm sure you got lots of them. Okay, you're very excited.
It's been bothering me for a long time, but also Felix is my spirit animal, so I love you.
I think I've seen your message on Twitter like 200 times. You're awesome. I wanted to respond, I just didn't know what to say back to that. That's really cool.
I love you guys. But, so you mentioned getting the science right, and I also really like Casima because I'm also a grad student in forensics. Yes!
Oh, yeah.
So,
You have any friend?
So it's getting real in here.
The fingerprint thing really bugged me because you do a lot of really good science and like a lot of stuff makes sense to me, and like even shooting off from current stuff is cool. But the fingerprint thing was complete crap.
Excuse me? Just kidding.
He dropped the mic, he dropped it.
If you watch it again, they actually do say that the fingerprints would be close enough to flag a match.
Okay.
And that's all we wanted to do. What we did stretch was the actual time it would take to get the fingerprints results. Okay. Sometimes you just get yourself in a corner, and the fingerprints were too cool. But we do fudge our way through the fingerprints. But I will say that some of our writers just hated that too.
Yeah,
so.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Because it wouldn't have bothered me so much if everything else wasn't so great. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
That's a great way to turn a negative into a positive.
Let me ask on follow-up on that one, though. When you are behind such a critically praised series with so many passionate fans, when you do get those little tweets about the little things in episodes, is it like kind of frustrating on another level of like, oh man, like we just missed that tiny little thing, otherwise it's perfect.
No, it's pretty cool that people are watching so close.
Yeah.
Well, you guys need to get a Twitter. That someone gave me that mission on Twitter actually was to get you to get a Twitter.
I have no clue how
we're gonna.
I mean, we watched it. Like we would when
Did you watch Karen?
When the show was airing, we would sort of someone would have a computer and we would watch the Twitter feeds, which was cool. It was really great, but I don't know how to.
Can we set you up with a joint account called Jam? Strawberry Jam. That sounds wrong.
Watching them craft their first tweets would be a great bonus feature on the season 2 DVD.
That would be awesome.
All right, let's go back to the floor for more questions. Right there, waving. A dragon invasion in Orphan Black.
Dragon invasion.
Dragon? Dragon or drag? Oh my god, sorry, what? Drag. A drag?
I'm pretty sure she said dragon.
She said... Guys, look, this is going downhill really fast. Someone save me.
This ain't Game of Thrones, honey.
If it was drag, I think that would be an awesome idea. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
it wasn't drag. She's shaking her head. I got it wrong. Oh God.
What about a fire-breathing drag queen?
Quickly, let's come up with a name reminiscent of RuPaul for that. Fire-breathing drag queen? I don't know. I got nothing.
Well, just to follow up on that, with your character, Felix, I mean, who wants a Felix in their life? Right?
Whoa.
Just saying. But when you did the actual audition process, you auditioned 3 different types of Felixes with different accents. So how close are we to not seeing the Felix on camera that we love today?
There were, and then very close enough, actually. There was, I think I think you guys always knew that you kind of wanted Felix British.
No.
No? Shoot. Okay, so close enough, because what happened was in the first audition I did a Northern English accent, which was interesting but wrong. Then we had a version where he was American, but the humor kind of, for me, sort of fell apart. I didn't think I could carry it with the American accent. Then there was another version that I did a little bit in the audition room, but it was more private rehearsal, which was much more London street punk, because Felix was described as a hustler, and I thought, you know, he could either be the Felix we know, or he could be a street kid. You know, so instead of like nothing, it would be nothing, something, with 13, all those kinds of like, it's just completely lower, like 3 or 4 decibels lower down, and instantly your body gets closer to the ground as well. Much more like Sarah, yeah? But instead, as soon as we met the other Felix, there was so much right about it that we couldn't deny that was our Felix.
I agree. You were, as soon as you did your Mick Jagger thing.
the Mick Jagger hits. Yeah, what did you guys envision for him? What did you see? If you could have picked anyone in the world already working to play that, don't tell me that actually, don't tell me that. Don't answer that question.
It would have been a young Richard E. Grant.
Would it have? Couldn't we call me a young Richard E. Grant? Really? I love you guys.
We even put you in his coat.
You did that? Oh yeah, the arrogant coat.
From Withnail and I, yeah.
That is by far that big black long coat that sort of trails along the ground, sort of like Angel from Buffy, but way more feminine. Yeah. The most arrogant piece of clothing I've ever worn in my entire life. I didn't even know that clothing could be arrogant, but it's possible.
All right, back to the floor, right there. Yeah. Yeah.
I love you guys, so thank you so much for hosting this panel. And also, I was going to ask, what's the science behind Kira? And what's your significance going to be in the next season?
Ooh. Did everyone hear that about Kira and her significance in the next season?
I'm not sure we're going to find Kira again. I don't know.
You can't do that to us.
Obviously, Kira is very important. The most important thing she is that she's really important to Sarah. That drive for her. But obviously Kira holds some mystery in her biology, and it's safe to say we'll be peeling that back a little bit. If we find her.
Alright, back to the floor. Yes!
Other than the fact I'd like to hear Jordan do his Family Guy voices, I was wondering with the writers, would we be able to find out more backstory to characters like Felix or Art, for any chance?
I'm just gonna hide under the table here. Don't worry about it.
Oh no.
In her defense,
If he gets under there, he's not coming out. What do you guys think?
We were just wondering whether we have an answer
No,
to this
well,
question.
listen, I think one of the things that we've debated a lot and is that we, of course, have thought a lot about this. And one of the things that we've debated is the idea of doing a Beth episode. And we all very much like the idea of doing that. I don't know if it's going to happen in second season or not, but it is something that's been discussed a lot.
And guess who's gonna be in that episode live?
So that's kind of that's sort of that's sort of my answer to that. How's that? Is that good?
Satisfying.
And do you want to do your Family Guy voice? Can you do a little?
Where did you
quick
guys
sample?
hear that? Oh, of course. Well, how many of you guys watch? Well, it's easier if you close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. That's it. Close your eyes, yeah. And then all of a sudden, Stuart Griffin just walks in the room. It's crazy, isn't it?
But not as crazy as Peter Griffin showing up out of nowhere.
But then, all of a sudden, Lois Schmidt shows up and stuff gets real.
But nothing compares to Mr. Hamilton.
This is literally like what my last dinner party was with my parents. They turned on me like teenagers, and they made me do a bunch of this stuff in front of my neighbors, including impressions of those neighbors sitting at that table. I was mortified. Thank you, Mom and Dad.
Well, let's ask Kevin this question. Given that Art's relationship with Beth was revealed to be maybe a little outside of the law, like willing to, bend the truth for one another, to protect one another, do you hope that in this next season that we'll see Art becoming an ally for Sarah, willing to kind of play both sides of the law to help someone out who is so much like his partner?
Well, I mean... No, I hope that we take it as far as we can. Do you know what I mean? If that has the most payoff for it, then yeah, let's do that. Do you know what I mean? There's a whole lot there that they built in, and we don't know a tenth of what the Maggie Chen. What the hell is going on here? Of what the whole Maggie Chen story really is, and
We do.
They do. They don't tell me anything. I'm telling you. And there's a lot to be mined. There's a whole lot to be mined in every story, in every character's arc. But I think these guys got something good coming up. So we'll see.
Well, while we have the ear of the creators, Teddy has a theory that Art and Beth had a sexual past. So just so that he isn't right, could you?
What?
Excuse
me?
I can confirm. No, I can't.
All right, we'll go back to the floor for more questions.
You are incorrect, Teddy.
All right, right there.
I have a question about Cosima and Delphine's relationship and Delphine's character. Is it possible that in season 2 we might be seeing more of that or less? And Delphine, is she good or bad? Because she didn't say anything about Kira, but she did snoop around, so there's still that kind of...
Did everyone at the back hear that? No? Okay, so she was asking about the relationship between Cosima and Delphine, whether we'll see them continue, and whether or not Delphine is good or evil.
I think it's a bit like Paul. They're stuck in the middle, so they are both. They're between a rock and a hard place, and maybe trying to do the right thing, but they could turn on us at any time. We love that kind of tension in those characters, and we love that tension within a romantic relationship too, because it makes everything so fraught and confusing for the characters. We love Evelyn Brochu, so we'd really like her to be back. Yeah.
From a technical point of view, what's the complication where you've got a single actor playing multiple characters on screen in terms of?
I have no idea. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you in terms of being able to keep things consistent in terms of lighting and sound and everybody else's reactions while you're filming those scenes?
Yeah, it's super technical. It's quite technical. I think I might bore a lot of people by giving the answer to that. But, you know, it's something that you have to plan. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of, you know, it's not like just thinking about any normal scene. You got to kind of think.
Does it affect how you write?
We try not to let it affect how we write. I think we get excited about. I certainly get excited about the challenge of doing new things and how can we push the limits of this. I think that the way I like to present things, or the concept behind cloning in the very beginning, before we even shot anything, was that we didn't want the visual effects to call attention to themselves at all. We wanted it to just look like a normal TV show. You know, we didn't want people going, you know, like there's two of them and they're in a hall of mirrors and there's all these really cool angles of visual effects and stuff like that. We really wanted it to just feel like just a normal scene of two girls sitting at a bar. You know, so that the point was to make the effects seamless, and for I'd show it to my 7-year-old mom, and she wouldn't notice. You know, that was kind of the point. But it's kind of a technical process, and Tatiana has a really terrific. We have a really terrific acting double named Catherine Alexander,
she's amazing.
Who does all of I work with those two girls all the time, and we work everything out together. And if we can rehearse before we get to the set, that always helps. And then there's motion control and automated cameras and our computer-controlled cameras and earbuds playing audio back, and it's super. And Tatiana looking at nothing, like putting eye lines up and making her talk to the air, while listening to the other actor's voice in her ear.
Well, I've done those scenes, and I still don't even understand how they work.
It's the fact that they, because in the beginning, I really hadn't done a lot of those scenes, that kind of thing before either, and so it made us all a bit nervous. It was all a big, huge experiment, and fortunately we got the technical side, and then the other fortunate thing was that we had Tatiana Maslany, right, who pulled it off unbelievably.
Our best special effects.
Seamlessly pulled it off. So that's what I have to say.
Really, as someone who doesn't know how it works either. But what is really cool is by the time they get to the end of the process, when Tatiana's played, say it's up to 3 characters, she's played all 3 sides. Once you're watching the third character or the second character, say, on the monitor, the images are doubled, so you're actually on the monitor watching her. Well, you're watching Tatiana with Tatiana on the monitor as a ghost image on top. So you can see if she's putting her head through her own head and things like that.
It is interesting watching, because you spend a lot of time on set. Whatever long it takes to shoot like a normal scene, you can double that time if it's two like her and another clone, and triple the time if it's her and 2 other clones. So what's gratifying and sort of fulfilling about it is you can watch the shot being built in layers as you're kind of going. And then so by the end of the night, you're all going, you want to kill yourself because you've been there for 14 hours, but you're going, oh my God, but look at what we did, right? So,
over there.
I think the majority of the fans, including Pat and Oswald, were pretty pissed off when Tatiana didn't get nominated for an Emmy for first season. Is there anything that the fans can do during next season to kind of push that to give her a better
I keep watching, obviously, and doing everything you did last year, Clone Club, all that stuff. But unfortunately, who decides who's nominated is a decision made by the Academy of Motion Picture and Television Arts and Sciences. And that's an actual organization in the United States. And they make those decisions as to who's nominated and pre-nominated and who's on what list. But the more you support the show, the more groundswell there is on social media, the more you guys do the incredible stuff that you do, which we are so grateful for, the more that, magazines and newspapers, and the more they'll write about us, the more that breeds exposure, the more those Academy members who do all the voting are compelled to watch. Because half of them probably haven't even heard of the show.
Can I share a funny little story about Patton Oswalt? I met him at San Diego Comic-Con, and he came up to me and he goes, "You know who I think's a psychopath?" And I was like, getting ready for him to say me, and he goes, "It's that Donnie guy." I go, "Donnie?" And he goes, "Who in the hell would marry that crazy bitch, Allison?" And I said, "Wow, Patton, you really have some good ideas about our show." That is all.
Also, how cool of a name is Patton?
Alright, back to the floor. Right there, Superman shirt.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question was, I recently read about there's going to be a new love interest for Sarah, and I guess how is that going to get worked in? Is there still going to be more Sarah and Paul, because I really like more Sarah and Paul?
What? Again, what? I kill him in episode 2, just so you know. I'm sorry.
What he said. Don't pay attention to spoiler TV, they get it wrong all the time.
But you can't have enough good-looking men with nice abs, can you? I'm working on that.
I haven't had a damn carb in 2 months.
Did you say abs or ass? I thought you were giving me a high five. Did we just become best friends? Yes.
Right there.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for giving me the best possible way to introduce my sister, because I can now say, "Hi, would you like to meet my clone?"
Yes.
And I would also like to ask the actors, if there was a scene or an interaction that you could have in season 2, what would you like it to be? Whether it's between any of you that are sitting there, a clone that we already know, or if you would like to have an interaction with a new clone.
My vision's terrible, but is that Jackie? Jackie! Hi! How are you guys? Oh, I'm so glad you came. Hi! We had like an hour-long conversation at the San Diego airport. Hi, guys. So who wants to go first? I have the microphone. I just love talking. I would love to, I've said this before, I really want to see a bit more of a window into Felix's personal life. I think that there's a lot of stuff that's happened in the last, I don't even know fully what our timeline looked like for the first season, but you know, it wasn't terribly long. It was a very tight show, a very tight timeline. There's a lot of stuff that happened in a very short amount of time, and I'd like to know who the person is he calls when it's not Sarah, if he can't sleep at night. Because he's one of those people.
It's Teddy.
Is it Teddy? Hi, Mom.
I would personally love Felix to be the Robin to Paul's Batman. I think it'd be so much fun. And there was a story where Paul was on like some reconnaissance mission and he had like a sniper rifle and Felix was learning how to use it or something. And he's like,
Oh my God, yes.
"Are they shagging over there? I think they are. I like this." That's an awful Felix impression.
You know what, it wasn't that bad. Let's, do you have a Tat impression? Do you have a Tatiana impression? Come on. And you guys?
That was my art, Sarah, and Felix all rolled up into one. Yeah, it's the all-purpose impression. I can do Barney the dinosaur.
That's awesome.
Funnily, I think that the one interaction I think I would want to see is the one that Graeme was talking about earlier, is Art with Beth, just so we can get an idea of where they're coming from, what that relationship was, what the nature of their relationship really is, so that we can move forward and see what's going on.
We got time for a couple
That's like hugely complimentary and an amazing question all in one.
Well, it starts in the writer's room, and those characters started with John and I batting this. Once we realized our show was about clones, we were batting characters around, and Sarah and Felix were really early, and then it was, who else can we create, and who else do we need? You start with practical questions like that, and then you just you develop them and you put them in really crazy situations and see how they react, and you experiment with them and try and make them really distinct from one another. And then, as writers, we hand them over to John or whoever is directing, and we hand them over to the actors, and everybody brings their own little piece to it. And the Felix initially on the page, what really wasn't as alive as the Felix that's walking around on that set. And in terms of what Tatiana did to embody and make each clone distinct, as a writer, that is just a huge reward. And do you want to talk about what you do?
Well, I think that what I do is I think that the best thing that we do together is we collaborate.
Yeah.
When I'm directing, I like to have a collaborative environment. I always have a plan, but a lot of the time when I remember back episode 1 when we actually did a bunch of we did a lot of rehearsals. So we get Tat and Jordan together, and we're figuring things out together. It's a fun process. And you're discovering, you're taking the script and then kind of, Jordan's got great ideas, Tat's got great ideas, the actors come and we kind of work on it in a kind of a collaborative sort of fashion. And I think that's what makes the set a really cool environment on this show, because I've been on lots of shows where it's not like that. So.
And that's a real testament to you and both how open the writers are to, because sometimes you write a character and the actors bring something different and the writer is unwilling to let the character evolve, but you guys are so open to the idea of evolution and of how the character grows over the course of, no pun intended. Didn't think I caught that, did you? But John is by far one of the most collaborative, imaginative directors that I've ever worked with, and it's just the process is so much like an art project. You don't get there and feel like if you don't do your job, you're going to be fired. You get there and you feel like no one else in the world is making a television show because we're about to make history. Also, I'm very spontaneous, as is Michael Mando, who plays Vic, and we had a lot of fun during the rehearsal process. I had good ideas, he had great ideas. Yeah, Michael Mando and everyone else on the cast, and Evelyn Poshu and everybody there. But in terms of I'm still talking. In terms of...
I just gotta say, I owe a lot of it personally to Tatiana, really I do, because I come from the theater world, and this is all sort of new to me, but to work with Tatiana is like working with any polished, seasoned theater veteran, because she knows what she's doing, she's so grounded in what she's doing, and you can't help but be affected by her. And I remember we were shooting a scene, I won't tell you which one, where we were sitting there and I was being pulled into Tatiana's performance, and John said to me, dude, I don't think you're going there. As art, I don't think you're going there. I'm like, okay, no problem. And then she started doing stuff, and I started acting the way she was. Because she's just so, she's so dynamic, and you look into her eyes and you get pulled right into it. So she sets that tone on set, and it's a tone of, as you said, collaboration and of experiment and of play. And everything just sort of downstreams from there. So it's great.
Do you want to say something?
Jordan, by the way, came up with the line, "Fetch me something gay."
There were about 10 different, I love improv, Tat and I kind of bonded over that early on, and there were about 10 different, and not just that scene, 10 different lines there, but the scene where she turns around at the intervention. I had one improv where I was like, when I said act like a woman, I didn't mean Jane Collins. which is a reference even I'm too young to get. Do you want to say something?
You guys said it all. I can't follow that.
Well, I think it really began for me in childhood.
We got time for just maybe one, maybe two more. Right there, another Batman shirt. Popular.
All right, love the show. American Fan over here.
American.
American Southwest. Badlands. Anyway, about the music on the show. Like each episode has amazing music for certain scenes or when certain characters are on. Is that collaboration between you, the creators, the writers, the actors, like certain music or certain songs?
Anyone in the back? She's asking about the music in the episodes and how it's chosen.
Well, the music, the way it's chosen is Graeme and I, basically. We kind of generally will pick the music. I think that, you know, our two favorite picks this past season, well, my two favorite picks, was the German version of Boots Are Made for Walking. I thought that was, and it wasn't gonna be that. That was a last minute find because we lost the rights to, we had something else already mixed in there, lost the rights to it, and then
Du hast.
we were gonna use Ramstein. And then the other one was, of course, the Sonny and Cher song in the diner with Helena and the I Got You. And then, of course, we like to make eclectic, we like offbeat choices in the music, and certainly for our source music. And then we've got a really, really talented composer, Trevor Yule.
Oh, he's incredible.
And we just wanted, you know, we wanted to build a soundtrack that was where the soundscape was different than other things that you'd heard, but not like a soundscape that didn't allow you in as a viewer, you know, because I've certainly heard composers create music that you just kind of go, where they're kind of holding you at a distance as a viewer. And so it was just trying to find our own sound, trying to make make it be our own thing. So I'm glad you enjoyed it anyway. So it was a really important aspect of the show for us.
And of course, Allison maybe on season where she's.
There's going to be some interesting music coming up in season 2. I can tell you that right now.
Well,
we already have songs planned.
We do have to wrap it up, but on the topic of season 2, let's just pretend mentally now we're at Fan Expo 2014. What do you anticipate the main questions are going to be about, or what the fan reaction will be to season 2? This way you can speak in a very vague manner while still maybe teasing us a bit.
Are you insane? How could you let that happen? Why did they all die?
Dylan, I can't believe you went full frontal in that steam-rim fight scene.
Dylan and Jordan, I can't believe you went full frontal in that.
I'm like Dylan, I got nothing. Absolutely nothing I could say.
John, Graeme, anything?
I'm sure it would be something about like, I really wasn't expecting that spaceship to land in
Okay.
the season finale.
No dragon invasion, but aliens. We're gonna get them. All right, anything you want to say to the fans who waited in line or came out to your signs?
Oh my God! Thank you, Clone Club.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're nothing without you guys. Seriously.
Praise the cast of Orphan Black, everyone. Enjoy the rest of
Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. I lost the microphone stand. Where did it go? Thank you so much.